Hey guys, it's Tuesday. This week I'm going to tell you about what I consider to be the best Power Ranger season. I don't think it's not my favorite, but in my opinion, it's kind of the best. So, I'm talking about Power Rangers RPM. I don't know what RPM stands for. I'm guessing it's just in reference to RPM as in the thing that has to do with cars, because RPM has to do with cars. Yeah, they're like a car themed thing. It's adaptation. It's the what season is RPM? Count backwards. We're on what season are we even on right now? These are important questions. 17. It was the 17th season of Power Rangers to premiere. It was the last one in the Disney era, and Power Rangers was supposed to be canceled after RPM. But then Saban brought them back, and then they made Samurai. So, it was adapted from Engine Sentai Go Onger. I don't know how much like its Sentai it is. I've never seen Go Onger, but it's probably really different. RPM is special in many, many ways. The first being which is RPM takes place in an alternate universe from the other Power Ranger teams. All the Power Ranger teams basically exist chronologically with each other in their world. And so, in their world, the year 1993, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers existed. And then, in the year, 2003, the Ninja Storm Rangers existed. And you have some breaks in this chronologically with Time Force and SPD, but where I'm pretty sure RPM still takes place in the year 2009. It takes place in the year 2009 in an alternate universe to the Power Ranger universe. So it's really cool because that makes Power Rangers a multiverse, which it wasn't before. They revealed that RPM was taking place in an alternate universe, which makes sense considering the plot of RPM was the fact that the world had already ended. RPM started where most Power Ranger shows don't even get, which is basically the world had ended. And after the world had ended was when somebody decided that they needed Power Rangers to help. And the first RPM morphers were made. RPM has some great characters. Every character is unique and amazing and kind of complex in a way. And every character got an episode worth of backstory. Some even got two. I think two got 2-part backstories. I mean, their characters were so just amazing. You had the Red Ranger Scott, who was used to be in the Air Force, and he just wanted to be his perfect older brother. And then you had the Blue Ranger, who had this superhero complex. He loved superheroes. He was also from Scotland, and he's very proud of that. He had Summer, who used to come from a rich family, and her character development that she went through was just amazing. You had Dylan, who is just Dylan. Dylan is just fabulous. He's sarcastic, and he's totally not with the whole Power Ranger thing sometimes. It's so amazing. And then you have Ziggy, who is the only Ranger to question the use of explosives. And he kind of tells it like it is. And then you have Dr. K, who is their mentor. And she was raised in a government think tank. And she's a genius, and she is really amazing. And you have Gem and Gemma. Gold and Silver. RPM Gold and RPM Silver. They're twins. They like to blow stuff up. RPM is great because it has so much. There is, on-screen and off-screen death. And there's, implications of just mass death because of the fact that the world has ended. And so much of the world's population is so small that literally the entire world's population fits inside a dome city at this point. That many people have died. And that's really big for Power Rangers because this is a show that is not known for being that violent. Despite what people say, Power Rangers is not actually that violent. Power Rangers will rarely get seriously injured. But to see, on-screen deaths, they're not graphic or violent in any way. And, they made allusions to, mafias. And there was the government was like kidnapping kids and like raising them in the government think tank, which is where Kay, Jem, and Gemma were from. And then you had the whole idea of like these half human, half robot cyborgs who were people that had been kidnapped and put in these places where they were turned into cyborgs. Like, that's dark by Power Ranger standards. Like, this whole season I consider to be the dark season, because this is a whole dark side of the Power Ranger universe, which is funny because it's an alternate universe too. But it's really great, because I think it's really a season that people who are older can appreciate, because they can understand like the weight of what all this is. Like, it's not just the fighting and the Zords and the corny jokes. Like, yeah, that's all usual Power Ranger stuff. But usual Power Ranger stuff doesn't have like all these deaths and this much character depth. Like, this is a great season. And I wish all Power Ranger seasons could be like RPM. I wish they could all be this well written, because RPM has got everything. Like, the characters are complicated and their depth is just amazing, and they're like real people, you know, and their motivations to help people after all they've seen is just amazing. And just, it was funny, and it was sad, and it was great. I loved it. I don't know if its Sentai is as good, but to me, RPM is just the best season of Power Rangers, because this is what Power Rangers could be like. Power Rangers could be a thing that kids can understand and watch, but it's also deep enough that older audiences would still enjoy it. And I think that RPM should be the model of what Power Rangers season should look like, because this season is amazing. And if you watch any season of Power Rangers after these videos, I would suggest you watch RPM, because there is no crossovers, and don't even think about watching the Samurai RPM crossover. It's not gonna work. It's amazing, and I think everyone should love it, because it is a great season. So that's Power Rangers RPM. I know it's just mostly me glorifying it, but honestly, the writing is fabulous. The characters are amazing and diverse, and the plot lines are great. You know, like, they go places. And I think it's a great season, and it has everything. So, as far as ratings go, I give it a 5 out of 5. Like, this is a perfect season, and it's the best. It's not my favorite. It should be, but it's not. Ninja Storm is. And maybe next time I'll talk about Ninja Storm. So that's it for today. I hope you liked my little fabulous rant about why I love RPM, and RPM is amazing. And, by the way, RPM also has the only female 6th Ranger. Alright? And I'll see you guys next week. May the power protect you all.